Good afternoon. My name is Amber Peterson, and I'm LitWorld's Director of Program Innovation. Thank you for tuning in to our third week of Facebook Live as we explore activities that can help us stay positive and connected during these difficult times. For those of you who don't know, LitWorld is a nonprofit that partners with organizations all over the world to deliver literacy-based programming that focuses on empowerment and social-emotional development. One of our key programs is the Lit Club, a weekly program that brings together groups of young people in safe spaces for storytelling and story sharing. Due to the pandemic, most of our Lit Clubs are not actually open right now. They're not working in the way that they usually do. But being apart doesn't mean that we have to be alone. Our Virtual Lit Club explores some of our favorite Lit Club inspired activities, and the best part is that it's open to everyone. Go to www.litworld.org to sign up for the Virtual Lit Club or join our Virtual Lit Club group on Facebook to get new prompts and activities every week. So today's activity is all about belonging. Belonging is one of LitWorld's signature 7 strengths. It's actually our first one, and we define it as identifying as a valued, respected member of a larger community. In times such as these, when we're so spread apart by necessity, it can be hard to feel like part of a community. But as I said earlier, being apart doesn't mean that we're alone. And maybe what's required right now is looking at how our community comes together in different ways. Today we're going to be creating community comics to identify and celebrate the ways that we're connected, the ways that we take care of and are taken care of by the people that are around us. As with every activity that we do, there's no wrong way to do it, and you can be as creative as you'd like. One way to begin is with a little bit of brainstorming. There are so many different ways to define community, and it helps for us to figure out who we're thinking of when we say that word. I decided to use here to help me start thinking about how I think of the communities that I'm a part of. So in the middle circle, I don't know if you can see that, I identified my most immediate community, and that's me. That's who I'm in my house with right now. So it's me and my cat. All right, it's just us in my house, and that's my immediate community. One circle out, I'm thinking about the community that I connect with on a deep and personal level. And for me, that's my family and my friends. Even though she's not physically in this house with me, I talk to my mother every day on the phone. And I regularly connect with my other family member, my other family members and my friends via phone calls and texts and WhatsApp and Zoom and Facebook and Instagram. And these are the people who I rely on and who rely on me to feel safe and to feel connected and to feel valued. All right, taking it another circle out, I'm thinking about the next level of my community. And for me, that's my neighbors and the people who live around me and physically closest to me and who I interact with, even if I'm not personally close to them, and I might not even know them by name. I practice social distancing for their sake, and I try to be safe when I'm moving about the hallways of my apartment building or walking down the street. And even though I don't know them, they rely on me to keep them safe, and I rely on them in the same way. I think a lot about how I can keep my community strong by buying locally or practicing safe and clean habits and by being sensitive and respectful of the fact that we're all in this together. All right, going out one more circle here, I'm thinking about this next level of community that I have. And for me, that's really thinking about my city. I'm thinking about the service industry people and the healthcare professionals and the sanitation workers who are keeping the world going even in the midst of all that's going on right now. The people who are in this level, I might not see them or interact with them personally at all, but I rely on them to keep things moving so that everyone in all the communities I connect with can be safe and well. So when you're doing your brainstorming for this, you can continue to make more circles by thinking about the communities that you connect with, or you could brainstorm in a different way altogether. The goal here is to identify the communities that exist around you and how you connect with them. Once you've done that, it's time to make your comic. Our community comics are meant to identify and celebrate the communities that we belong to, even if the ways that we connect with, recognize them, is a little bit different at the moment. Your comic can be about a particular member of your community. It can be about a moment that you shared with a member or members of your community. It can be about recognizing all the different communities that you're a part of. It's up to you. How you draw your comic is also completely up to you. You can just make a picture on a page with writing or drawing, or you can lay out a story. A fun way to lay out your comic is with a zine. And zines are pretty easy to make, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All you need is a piece of paper. So you start with a piece of paper, and then you're going to fold it in half one time, hot dog style, which means you're folding it along the long edge. So you fold it once, hot dog style. All right. Then you're going to fold it in half, hamburger style, which means you're folding it along the short edge. Fold it hamburger style, and then you're going to fold it one more time, hamburger style. So all right, you should end up with a little piece of paper about this size. All right, next step, open it all back up. You should have a grid with 8 different squares here. You're going to turn and fold this paper again, this time hamburger style. All right, so you should have 4 squares that are visible to you. All right, now this is the kind of tricky part. Make sure you are starting from this folded edge. All right, you're going to take this piece here, and you can either use a pair of scissors. I'm actually just going to rip it because these lines here will help me keep it straight. But you're going to rip on the center seam and stop where this fold here happens. You're just making a little tear, again, from the folded edge of the paper. All right. Once you've made that tear, you should have a little hole in the middle of your paper. Fold it again, hot dog style. All right. Now you're going to squeeze the paper together so you get a little diamond in the middle. And then just fold it all together like a book. All right, and here you have a little zine. All right, you have 8 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages here that you can use to lay out your comic book story. All right, another simple way to lay out your story is to simply draw some boxes on a page and use each box to tell one part of your story. All right, so here's a little grid that I made. Before you begin drawing, it's a good idea to sketch out some ideas in pencil first so you know what you're going to write and draw about. I decided to use that grid example. I mean, this just laying out some boxes. And here is an example of the community comic that I made. So, zooming in a little bit, you can see it starts with this square here where I feel a little bit sad and lonely. But then I'm really starting to think about the community that exists, even if it doesn't look the way I'm used to. So I have my cat who comes in here in this scene. Then I have a call from my mom. All right, I'm connecting with her in that way. Over here, I see my computer. And on my computer, I'm able to connect with my friends via lots and lots of different social media options. And then in this next scene, I live in New York City, and every night at 7, all of my neighbors kind of start clapping out of their windows for all of the essential workers who are out there right now. And it's another way of helping us feel connected as a community. And so outside of my window, you can't really see it, but I've got a person who's leaning out their window and clapping. And at the end, I kind of feel connected with all of these different pieces and all of these different people in my community. So community for me looks a little different than it normally does, but I'm still connected and I still feel like I belong in lots of different ways. And so I hope that drawing your community comic helps you kind of start thinking about some of those different ways that you are connected as well. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We would love to see the community comics that you make, so please share them with us in the comments below here. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week for another project. So don't forget to go to www.litworlds.org for more ideas and resources, and make sure that you stay safe and that you stay connected.